right, and we are back. It is episode number 4, day 4 of 75 Hard. This is V, aka V the Plug. Thank you guys for tapping in was so my other show, V the Plug Talk. Those of you guys who listened to that a while ago, that was a term that I used, tap in. But I don't know what made me say that, but let's roll with it. Thank you guys for tapping in. And man, today is Sunday, January. Oh my God, is it the 5th? No, it's the 4th because this is day 4. It is Sunday, and usually on Sundays, I kind of take it easy. I don't really like to work hard too much. I am a faith-driven woman, and I try to keep my Sundays for God, for seeking just inner reflections, going to church. Today, I decided not to go to church because it was just one of those days where it's raining, and I just feel like my body was so rested underneath my covers. And I was sort of stressed, to be honest, because I'm starting this whole mastermind. I speak about it every time on this podcast because it's something I really want to be successful and help other women in media and podcasting. And so I've just been praying and just seeking guidance in that area. And so I think sometimes when we feel a bit stressed, our defense mechanisms in our body go up. We feel fatigue, we feel maybe sick, we feel different things in our bodies. And I decided just to rest and pray. And I said, you know what, I'm going to watch church online. I'm not going to go to the church, but also I was contemplating on going to church in person. It's such a different experience when you are going in person because you can worship, you can just feel the music in the church, you could feel the energy. It's honestly like going to a concert, except it's God's concert, And I just like it better. It's a reset. Sundays are a reset for me, and I don't not regret going in because with 75 Hard, you have to do the 2 workouts. And so I went on my 45-minute walk in the rain, and I did not bring you guys with me this time because it was just too rainy. I didn't want to get the mics all wet, but I listened to church on my walk, and it was just nice just to look at the rain, look at the trees, look at the atmosphere, take in everything. I feel like God speaks to me in nature, and on my walks and just really deep thinking. And so the message today was all about really not seeking validation and influence. Like, the message was about doing things out of love and joy instead of looking for the things that we should be doing to make more money and all this and that. It was basically the reset for the new year, and finding comfort in God's word and his promise. So I don't know. It's just always nice to hear and affirm from the pastor and like these stories that were written in the Bible of the lived experience and what God wants for us. And so I felt more at peace with everything that I got going on, and it was a nice reset walking in the rain. But I say all that to say that I wasn't really ready to get up and do all the things that I needed to do for the 75 hard, do my workouts. And I decided on Sundays, usually when I'm not doing 75 hard, I do not work out. I am easygoing, take it easy. And I decided since I have to do 2 workouts, I'm going to use my body weight, not use any weights for my workouts. So my last workout, I was in the gym and I used my body weight. I did some push-ups. I did some band work with opening up my hips. I did some body weight squats with a band. And I just stretched. I really felt my body. And I feel like it's important for us to take that break, give ourselves some rest, and really tap in with our inner self. And so I'm not a really big yoga fan because yoga is too slow for me. And that's why I do Pilates. I really enjoy a nice stretch and resistance, body resistance. And so I focused on just resistance and breathing and stretching, and I feel really good. I'm glad I decided to take it easy and to continue on with just movement. And so I want to encourage you to at least take one day out of the week off and just stretch. Do something that you didn't do before, whether that's maybe working on your splits or if it's actually just, moving your body for 30 minutes, going on a 15-minute walk, 20-minute walk. Start in small increments and doing something that you haven't done before, and just do what you feel is best for your body to reset. And so, something that came up, this is what I wanted to say. I feel like I am a scatterbrain, and I might have some sort of ADD, and I've spoke about this before in other podcast episodes. And so I wanted to talk about God and our relationship with Him. A little bit of background about me is that I grew up in a Catholic church, and some of you might know this from other episodes. But I grew up from preschool through 8th grade, going to a Catholic school, going to church, and not really understanding God. I went through all the rituals of getting baptized, doing the sacraments, and understanding that, God is the source of who you confess to, who you go to, who you thank for your life. And so I think it's a beautiful thing that I was raised and had the opportunity to actually get to experience that and be taught that. And I know not everybody grows up with those type of values and foundation. And foundation is something that we all need in our life to really have a backbone in situations and turn to when things just go not the way we want or tragic things happen. And I've just had so many friends and family and heard so many stories about tragic situations, and I never understood why those things happened. And on my walk, I was just thinking, like, my relationship with God has grew, but I never was that person to really understand God and talk to God in the way that I saw others really connected to God spiritually. And, to have a relationship with God, you don't have to go to church all the time. And I know people have different opinions about going to church and not going to church, and having a relationship with God is more important. And for me, going to church the beauty of it is community, and the beauty of it is supporting one another in their walk of faith. It's not going to just receive from God and the pastor. It's to really align with other people walking in their faith and showing that God brings us together and for reasons. And so I never understood that about the church and how other people just felt the presence of God more. And I was always thinking like, man, I want that. I want to understand God in that way. It's almost like they know God. And I'm like, how do you get there? How do you even talk to God? And it's something that I've had to work on and develop through the years of just experiencing life. And I've always obviously known that there is a God and something bigger and more powerful than us, but I never understood. And what really got me to understand God a little more is just by living with how He would want me to live, but also when I have been tested, falling back on Him and His word. And this is something that, doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen instantly. It is, a longing. It's a prayer, it's something simply it's something simply as just saying like, God, I want to be closer to you. I want to have a better understanding and relationship of who you are as my creator and what you have designed me to be in this world. And so just by praying that every day, I have come to terms with like, I feel like I have a deeper relationship with God, and I desired that for the longest time since I was in high school. My first Christian church event was the Harvest Crusade with Greg Laurie, and that was when a friend of mine introduced me to the Christian church, and I felt like, oh my God, this is so cool. The music, the people, and the vibe was something that I understood. And since then, I continued going, and I, showed my family the church, and now we are all going to Christian churches. Of course, my church now is Oasis LA, which I really love, and I am a new member of it. Since the end of last year, I was always looking for a church in LA, and a friend of mine invited me, and it was nice. The choir is just top tier. Like, they are stylish. They bring such an energy to the church, and so that's what I love about the church. But going back into just how you rest on Sundays and what you do for your body and your mind. That is kind of how my day went. I went on the walk, I listened to church, and I drank some coffee. And now I'm here doing the podcast. I also did a bit of work, and I know I'm supposed to rest, but as an entrepreneur and as I'm growing in my business, there's always work to be done. But the number one priority is, continuing to just be grateful and thank God for what I'm receiving right now. And so, I think I want to leave it here. We're going to leave it here. I don't want to make these episodes too lengthy. But doing unfiltered thoughts is, I'm learning, every day I am learning how to get my thoughts organized together and just speaking from the heart, speaking from my thoughts. And I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. And I do want to know, I'm curious, how do you guys operate on your Sundays? Is it your chill day, your relaxed day? Do you go to church? Do you make an intention to, turn to the Word, do a gratitude journal? What is it that inspires you on Sundays? I'd love to know. Anyways, you guys can leave me a comment below, subscribe, and let me know where you're listening to this podcast. If you are, is it Substack, Spotify, Apple, YouTube? I want to know. And I think that's a wrap. I will talk to you guys soon. Day 5 is tomorrow. We are getting closer and closer to 75 days. And so I want to thank you guys again for listening, and I will talk to you guys on the next one. Bye.